Morning. As you can see, I'm all dressed up today. Got my chef's jacket on, a bit more professional. Right, I've done my soups, I've done my pies, I've done little bits and bobs. Yesterday I had a little play around with some fudge. I made some chocolate fudge and it was silky, smooth, gorgeous. And Mel and the kids have just demolished it. I also made some honeycomb, some cinder toffee, which was my favourite from the seaside. Dipped that in some chocolate and you got some crunchies, so we're going to do that. So at first I wanted to make some normal fudge, not chocolate fudge, just normal fudge, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. You can do it with the kids. Then again, you can do it with the kids, you have to be careful because it's like bloody lava and it can burn your bloody hands off. So I'm just going to show you the basic, simple way of making some nice flavoured fudge. And you can put it in a container, airtight, put in the fridge, and it'll last for a few weeks. Well, I doubt it, not in our house. But yeah, we'll do some fudge, and then we're going to do some chocolate fudge, and then we'll do some cinder toffee. But first, I'm just going to show you a basic fudge recipe. Again, lots of recipes out there. A lot of chefs have different ways. I've been doing loads of different kind of fudge recipes for God knows how long. I just stick to what I know, really. Again, there's probably better fudge recipes out there. Everyone will be shouting and screaming at me, chefs, saying, no, do it this way, do it that way, do it that way. But end of the day, do man, nice and simple. You guys can follow it, and you've probably got all the ingredients in your cupboard anyway. So that's what we're after. All right, let's get cracking. I've made me soup. Right, I've got some simple ingredients in there. Right, I've got some demerara sugar, some golden sugar, 400 grams. I've got 100 grams of butter. I've got some vanilla extract. Now I don't like the essence. I think the essence is more, you know, it's chemically made, isn't it? It's not really decent stuff. So if you've got a vanilla pod, great, but some extract is probably the best, next best thing really. Some golden syrup, and we've got some, well, cheap Baileys, some crappy Irish Meadow from the supermarket, dead cheap. And just to flavour it really, got some whiskey, some Jack Daniels. You can waste it in the fudge if you want, but I'd rather drink that and cook with this shite. And also got some condensed milk, which is absolutely superb. It's great for cheesecake. All you people who bake, all the ones that do your cheesecakes and your cakes and that kind of stuff, this stuff is absolutely unreal. It makes great toffee, makes a great banoffee pie. Into cheesecakes, it's superb. You make chocolate fudge into it, but I like using it for like a fudge. So we're going to use that. You can use normal double cream if you want, the same amount of double cream. And you can also use milk, to be fair enough. Milk, if I'm using milk instead of cream, I usually put a little bit more, 50 more grams of sugar, so that can go to 450 if I was using milk. But I'm using the condensed, so I'm only using 400 grams of sugar. You need a decent saucepan, a nice big thick one. This is not great, but it's non-stick. Well, slightly, it's been scored at the bottom now. But you have to keep an eye on it as well because it goes so hot. So right, let's get cracking. So basically, all the ingredients just want to be smashing together. So I've got my sugar. I've got my condensed milk. Gorgeous, that stuff. It's nice and coffee, I heard. But I don't really want a tin of this just for coffee. I'll scrape that on a spoon as soon as I put my phone down. So I've scraped my tin. So I've got some diced butter in there. So I've used 400 grams of the soft brown sugar, 1 tin of condensed milk, and I've used 100 grams of butter. I'll put the ingredients on the graphics to help it out. I've got some vanilla extract, not much of it left now, but you know, just a dribble. Right, golden syrup. If you've got honey, use honey, but golden syrup is the cheaper. So about a good tablespoon, that'll do. And then Mel's Baileys, Irish Meadow, shite. So just get a flavour of that. But Jack Daniels and whiskey work absolutely superb with it. Need a bit more in. They work superb with it. So yeah, if you want some Jack Daniels toffee, you smash it in. And that's it, to be honest. Yeah, just let that melt. Now when that melts, if you've got a sugar thermometer, which I doubt it, you want it around about 115, 120 degrees for like a soft, what you call soft ball. We used to train the chefs like there's like a soft ball, bit of foil in there. So you've got a sugar thermometer. I use my thermometer. to about 115, but I'll show you, if you haven't got a thermometer, a quick way to find out if it's ready. So you slowly melt that, bring it to the boil, and let it cook away to a caramel. Let's say it'll continue to melt, just let it melt down. And when you're making toffee and that kind of stuff, is always have everything prepped up in advance. So I've got me a little greased tray with some baking sheet in, but I always have them ready. There's another one there, just greased it. That'll go in there, and that's in the toffee I want to make. It'll sit in there. I'll have this kind of stuff ready, because it doesn't take long. It does. It seems like it takes ages until it reaches that temperature and it's bang. So let's come back to when it's done. You can see it's a long, hard process. Mine's on number 3, and you have to continue stir all the time. Don't let it catch the bottom. If you catch the bottom, it'll burn and it'll go black, and you have little black speckles in there. Once you've done that, it's buggered. So just keep stirring constantly. It is boring. It'll take 10 to 15 minutes. Just constantly stir. Now I've got some iced water there, a jug of iced water, and I want to show you. When I think it's ready, I want to put a blob in there, and it should go to like a soft ball. That's what we call in chefing, like a soft ball. You have a hard crack, a soft. Just different ways of making like toffee and caramel for different stuff. And I'm just using my food thermometer just to give you a rough idea. Again, a sugar one's better. These bakers, I'm having a proper sugar thermometer. See, it's not there, but we're not far off. 80s, 90s. We're not far off, so we want 120. We just keep on stirring that bottom all the time. Do not let it stick. Right, we're about there. Just clean the lens on there so you can see that properly. There, about there, 116, going to 119. That's how thick it is. Now we don't want to burn that bottom at all, so I've just turned the man off and just cook it out slightly. We're there basically. We're there, and just to show you, soft ball, what you do, you take a teaspoon, and you put it in the ice water, drip it, just knock it in the ice water like that, and what will happen in that ice water, you pick it out, and actually turns to a ball. That's what you call a soft ball. That's a little bit underdone slightly still, but you get me drift, don't you? You put it into the ice water, it cools down, it starts to go like a little boil sweet. A Werther's original. So just a little bit longer. And make sure that bottom. Now you can add some nuts in if you want now. If you want like a nut or any flavourings you want on top of that. People have put raisins in, cranberries, almonds. I've got some cashews in the cupboard, like, but I'm not gonna bother. I've got the Baileys in. It's got a bit of vanilla. That's how thick it goes. Just careful, that doesn't catch on the bottom. Once it does, we're buggered. And that's it for now. Let it cool down, take it off, and let it cool down now. It's reached the temperature we want. So all we're going to do is take it off, put it in a tea towel, and it'll cool down. Just keep stirring it. It's cold, it'll go thick. And once you can't turn it really, and then we'll put it into our grease tin. Then whatever back of a spoon, give that a dip in water, and we'll spread it nice and thin. So it's done really. It just wants that. Now mixing until it's set. I'll let you know when it's done. Another way you can do it to cheat: electric mixer, nice and carefully, give it a good whisk up, and it'll change colour. It'll go like a dull white. That's what we want. So get a good mix of that rather than a wooden spoon. If you've got one, if you haven't, don't worry about it. But I have, so let's go. As you can see, it's after cool. cooler, it gets thicker. That's about done now. Just keep whisking it, let it cool down a couple more minutes. It cooled down a couple more minutes, now give it a whisk again. So like you say, you're starting to form now. Like I say, tip into your tray, wet it back with a spoon, and then just mould it to your corners, fill the corners in. Doesn't matter, doesn't make no difference, doesn't have to be. You just mould it out. What I do, or I have done, just sprinkle that with a bit of sea salt now. Yeah, just a sprinkle of sea salt, gives it a bit of added flavour. Let that cool down, whack it in the fridge, and let's smash it later on. Kids will love it. Thanks for watching. Right, so toffee's setting, and what we're going to do now is some cinder toffee. I love cinder toffee. Every time I go to Whitby, come back with a big bag full. But it's so easy to make, and it's these 3 ingredients. I've got sugar, I've got 200 grams. Again, you can half it, so you can do a smaller tin. You can do 100 grams, but I've done 200 grams of, it's supposed to be caster sugar, but I've got none, so I've got granulated sugar. It doesn't make a difference, just a bigger cut. Got some bicarb, not baking powder, it's bicarb, and got some golden syrup. So what I want is 3 teaspoons of bicarb, and I want roughly about 6 tablespoons of golden syrup. You can use honey, makes no difference, but I've got golden syrup to use up. I've got honey in the fridge, like in the cupboard, but we're going to use this. So I'm going to put it all together in this pan, and we're going to melt it slowly until it comes like more of a maple syrup, a golden syrup kind of colour. And once it's done, we put in our bicarb at the end. But make sure you have your tin. Again, get a tin, get it greased, some greaseproof paper on the top, and we'll go from there. But it has to be done first. So that's your first job, really. So let's crack on here. We've got our sugar. Right, golden syrup in there and the sugar in there. We're going to melt that down, and then we just get the 3 teaspoons of bicarb separate. 2, 3. Touch more. But we keep this separate. Like I say, you can half these quantities, it's not a problem. You can make a small amount, but that'll fill this tub right up. And last night the kids actually smashed it, so it didn't leave any whatsoever. But what we're going to do is going to make it, when we smash it later on, we're going to melt some chocolate and we're going to dip it in and make our own little crunchy bars. Again, simple to do. Kids can get involved, but kids can do this, but be very careful because it's like lava, like volcano lava, and it'll burn your little tootsies off. So we're going to cook that until it's golden. I'll come back when it's ready. Just a tip, one thing you don't want to do is mess about stirring it. So don't piss about stirring it all the time, because it starts crystallising and it doesn't, to me, it doesn't melt properly. So that's going in little chunks. Just leave it. Just not too high. Just leave it bubble away. Just don't piss about with it. Now your sugar's all melted. Now you can stir it. Just keep it off the bottom again. We want that maple syrup colour. Make sure it's all, so you can still see grains in there. So it's not dissolved yet. You'll soon know. Got like a nice smooth glossy maple syrup colour. A few more minutes on that. I say be patient. Right, it's about there. Again, don't be greedy, little get, and dip your finger in because it'll burn your fingers. You'll have a massive blister on the end, trust me. This stuff is hot, 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 hot. So that's about done now, nice and glossy, nice and shiny. It's a maple syrup colour, nice and thick. Are you ready? This is the fun part. And it's going to be hard doing this one-handy, it really is, so I'll try my best. So we'll turn it off. Move to one side, man. See your bicarb? There you are. Right, we whack it in, and we have to whisk it as fast as we can. It takes some doing by myself, like. But I'll try it, alright? So it's in. Whisk. See it form up. It's a massive form. Class, man. What we do with that, and then we just pour it. Our lava, please do not taste it. It will burn, trust me. it will knack. Now I'm going to put that down so I can scrape the rest of that out. And there we have, look at the blue bubbles, look at that. Now just let that cool. Let it cool. And then once it's cooled slightly, I'll whack it in the fridge and set it. But it's absolutely superb. Now we've got a shitty, dirty, manky pan. Now trust me, the missus, if you're a male doing this, your missus is going to go mad. Look at that. So an easy way, you know, fill it with water. Put a load of water in. Like that. It'll look rock hard still. Whack it on. Just boil it for 10 minutes. It all melts back down there, the water. So yeah, just let it boil. Done. Right, it's been in the fridge for a couple of hours. It's set. So lift it out. Take it off. Now it's best to have a warm knife. Run on the tap for a bit. And just cut your chunks. Whatever size you want. Now we have nice chocolate fudge. Fudge. Now we're doing cinder toffee. This is only a small mixture. You can double the mixture, but be very careful and make sure your pan is big enough because it comes all over. I swear, it goes absolutely everywhere. So that's how it is. And just enjoy. Just break it, smash it, break it. Nice and light. And what I'm going to do, nice size chunks. We've got some chocolate there, milk chocolate. We broke it up. All these threads are done, some nice milk chocolate. Melt in the microwave carefully. We'll dip our honeycomb in and make homemade homemade crunchies. Not bounties, homemade crunchies. I don't think you're going to cover that one, do you? Hi guys, if you enjoyed the videos and like what you're seeing, do me a favour. See that YouTube button down there, that subscribe button? Just give it a press, because the more subscriptions I get, the more I can do, the more I can keep helping you. I enjoy doing these, so hit the like button. Just give it a click and hit that one there, and let's keep cooking and let's stay safe. Okay, rock on.